All right, listening queens, we are back for another amazing session, and this speaker made an impact on my productivity. I would say 10 to 12 years ago when I was still a full-time agent, top agent with the best team in the market that I was in. This is Michael J. Maher. Hello, Michael.
Great to be here. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jan.
Oh, thank you. So I'm sure you know both of his books. He has it right there behind the 7 levels of communication and the miracle morning. So this man, I just want to get right into the questions. All right. So your system is based on generosity. Just tell us really quickly, like, where did that come from? Like, how did you come up with it to write your first book?
Yeah, so just to be totally I didn't know this was going to be the first question, but right at it is Proverbs 11:25, and the Bible said, "A generous one shall be a prosperous one. He who refreshes others shall be refreshed." And I noticed that it didn't say when you're prosperous, you should start to be generous, and you're going to be refreshed, and then you go and refresh others. No, it was a generous one shall be it was like a promise that when you're generous, you will end up prosperous, which of course leads to more generosity and which leads to more prosperity. And he who refreshes others shall himself be refreshed. And it's like we go first. So I got to go first. So I've got to be generous first, and I've got to refresh others first. And I've lived my life, and I ran my business, and now the generosity generation, we have all these business owners who are running their business, building it by love, generosity, and appreciation. And those are our three values. They can always add their values to the end of that, but at the very heart of it is love, generosity, and appreciation. And that's what we do. That's how we built Referco. That's how I built my business, and that's how all of our clients are building their business.
Love it. I had to ask you that first. So I love the biblical basis for that. All right. So talk to me about the referral mastery. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so the generosity generation has three real meanings. Number one is it is my tribe of trust. It's the people that's what I called my group, my tribe in Kansas City, and that's what we ran our events around. And then the second part of generosity generation is it is a consumer trend. Back in the day, it was the ego era, and realtors were always saying that they were number one. Their website was allaboutme.com, and it was all about me, and I'm a star, and look at me, and you should work with me because I'm awesome. And the consumer stopped caring about that. About the time when a lot of these corporations were having trouble with trust issues and Enron and everything else, and number one meant nothing because every agent was saying that they were number one. Well, what happened is the consumer started to evolve from the ego era to the generosity generation, and they started to be more responsive to generosity. And the ego era, it was find me, sell me. That's what the consumer's mindset was. Find me and then sell me. Overcome the objections, close me. ABC was the thing. Always be closing. Well, in the generosity generation, the new consumer, this is the consumer we are now, which is hear me, help me. Their mindset is hear me, listen to me, ask me great questions, and then help me. And if you're not the one to help me, point me in the right direction of the person who can help me. And there's a new ABC in town. The ABC for the generosity generation is A, always, B, C, connecting. Always be connecting. Connect with yourself, connect one to one with others, but also always be connecting the people that you know to each other. And the new ABC is always be connecting. So the generosity generation was that consumer trend. And then the last thing is our group doesn't do lead generation. We do generosity generation. And generosity generation is phone calls with the spirit of helpfulness versus lead generation, which is the spirit is to get another lead. And nobody wants to be a lead and nobody really wants to do lead generation. But you know what our people do? They get on the phone for an hour, 2 or 3 hours a day helping people, and they don't even realize how fast 3 hours goes by because it was all about the other people. So
Love
that's
it.
that's the generosity generation in a nutshell. The referral mastery system came out of that.
I love it. Okay. So what I heard, because I like to repeat, um, was that you're focusing on the client, their experience, and in the connection is really providing or actually demonstrating your leadership, which will and competency, which will give them the trust. So I love that. I love that. So the number one way to get listings, what are your
It's
thoughts?
events. The number one way to get leads, get business, here's the thing with events, it's the nice thing is that you can make money making money. I mean, where else are you going to get paid to generate leads? Like if you were doing 3 hours of lead generation in the morning, phone calls, who's paying you to do that? The answer is nobody's paying you to do that, right? You get paid when you get the lead and convert it to a sale and so on and so forth. But with events, because of sponsors, because of ticket prices and admission tickets and registration fees and you actually can get paid to do an event and you're already paid. And then you run the event and you run our system, you're going to get referrals. Well, then you work with the referrals and you're going to get even more money, right? So
Yeah.
that's the power of the referral mastery system is we have three principles or three pillars under the referral mastery system. One is self mastery, which is the one to none, right? This is work on your rituals, work on your time management. Energy is a huge thing right now. And we've got a great class coming out called Whispers on entirely on energy management versus time management. And then you've got the second pillar, which is relationship mastery. And relationship mastery is one to one. And it's about your consultations and your conversations. What if every consultation turned into a referral? What if every conversation turned into a referral conversation? And we have scripts and dialogues and kind of how to do that. And then that third pillar is event mastery. And that's the one to many strategy. And this is a part of referral mastery system that no other person teaching on referrals has as part of their system. And I'm a huge believer. I mean, eventmastery.com is our website, right? So I'm a big
Ah,
believer in events because it's leverageable, it's scalable, and you get so many things from events that you can't get other ways. One of those is like plus like equals two loves. So it's
yeah.
like I'm at your event and I'm a client of yours and I meet another client of yours and we talk to each other. Well, the only point of reference we have is you. What are we going to talk about? We talk about you. And what do we each say about you? We were attracted enough to you to come to the event. It's probably going to be good. So I noticed they like you. I like you. When we separate because we talked about you and edified you, what happens is we walk away both emboldened and honestly more empowered to refer you than ever before because we have social proof. We have proof that more than one person loves you, right? And there's
Love
a
that.
room of people. And
Yeah.
I'm a believer that we should not be doing I don't believe that we should be unpaid delivery drivers going home to home and doing it that way. I believe if you want to give an item of value, first of all, be the item of value and always raise the value of the gift, which is you. How do you raise the value? Self mastery, relationship mastery, and event mastery, right? You are the gift, you are the item of value, raise the value of that. The other thing too is how do you know if something's an item of value? They'll come to you to get it. If you have to deliver it, it's not an item of value. It's just a trinket, right? So it's in many cases, just trash, right?
Love
As much time as people spend on that stuff. But I'm a believer that everything should be attraction based. I don't think we should chase referrals. I don't think we should chase business. I don't think we should chase anything. I think what we
Bravo.
should do is attract it, right?
That's right. Bravo. And I want to just
Let's go, Jan. Let's go. Like,
right.
you're good at this. Like, you got me fired up.
Good. You got me fired up. Let me just say that what I thought of when you were talking about your events, okay? And everybody called them client appreciation parties. I always called them VIP events, but and I do have a question, but
Can I tell you why you're the winner in those two scenarios?
please,
Should never call an event a client appreciation event. You should never call an event anything with the word client in it.
right?
Number one, it instantly kicks in RESPA. So guess what? You got to watch incentives. You got to watch what you give away. You got to watch money. You got to all these things, right? And number two, it's exclusionary by definition. Do you want referral sources to come to your event that maybe aren't clients yet or haven't been clients, right? And the answer to that is yes. So we don't want to call it client events for many. There's actually many reasons.
Yes.
VIP event, great name. Great name, right? Who is it? Very important people. Who are very important people? The people that come to an event. It's very easy. That's a rock star type of title. So
Right.
you can do so much with VIP.
Yes. And I just wanted to say that when you talk about up leveling you, because you are the prize, when you roll out the red carpet at these events, then the person is having an experience, and that experience is very uplifting to them. So you're actually giving them a dopamine hit.
That's right.
I include neuroscience in my coaching.
Yep.
You may as well. I kind of feel like you might. So
Yeah.
when the brain gets a notch of dopamine, it actually makes you memorable. So the opportunity to be really, really ticked in that, with a notch in that person's brain, that will happen as you give them these experiences. So are you talking about, my question is, are you talking about simply VIP events, or are you talking broader about maybe partnering with other local entrepreneurs and having VIP events, other than or in addition to, the traditional VIP client appreciation party?
So like the first rule of client appreciation events is don't call them client appreciation events, right? And then that next level is like, let's stay with the theme of VIP events. I'm a believer that we have they events and we events. A they event is where somebody else does all the invitations and you're an attendee. You attend it, and that like a chamber event or a networking event. Those are really they events. We need to have we events. We don't do I events in the generosity generation. The referral mastery system, no I events. An I event is where it's all about you and everybody that's coming is just because of you, right? We're going to do a we event. And a we event is you're going to partner with a sponsor or sponsors. We have people that first time ever doing an event, going through Event Mastery, they've had 10 or 12 sponsors for their very first event. The second is we're going to partner with a charity. No matter what, Jan, it's the generosity generation. We're going to partner with a charity. You're way ahead mentally. I see the way you're nodding. Like you get this on such a deeper level than most people because of that neuroscience background. What happens when we partner with a charity? It doesn't cost us anything to partner with a charity, but the mind share in the attendee is this person's a giver, this person's generous, and maybe we are, right? But here's the thing, if people want to work with people who are generous and givers, because you know why? They don't want to work with takers. And they know that if they ever need help, a generous giver is most likely going to help them when they need it. And just partnering with a charity doesn't cost you anything. What's it cost to put one sentence on your invitation that says, please bring a blanket for the vets and pets? It's one sentence. So partner with local businesses, local entrepreneurs to sponsor. Partner with charities. Partner with your database. Partner with your sphere. Help them out. Help them grow their businesses. Help them solve their problems with your events, right? And that's the power of an event that you don't get from any other type of what most people would call lead generation. We call it fun prospecting, right?
I
So
love
having
it.
a lot of fun.
Oh, I love that.
And going back to your dopamine rush,
Yeah.
it's the truth. Because here's the thing: is the first. I mean, nobody knows or remembers what you say to them, right? Nobody ever remembers or knows like what you do for them in a lot of cases. What they really remember is how they feel when you're around. Well, what we want to do is we want to make them feel great. Well, there's no better way to make people feel great than an event, like a movie event, or an Easter egg hunt, or a pictures with Santa, or and that's the thing that I love about our system. I'm not going to tell you what event to run. I'm just going to tell you when to run them and how to run them so that you get referrals and you make money, right? So we literally have helped 10,000 people run events and they're all different. Do a lot of people do I love you lattes? Yes. Do a lot of people do the pie day? Oh my God, we helped 375 do pie days. I'm done with pie. I just said it out loud. I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I will still help you run your pie day in October, November, and December. But it's like, let's maybe do
Get
something
some
else.
creativity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So if to that point, and then we'll get to that, but I just thought of something. So if you are a mom realtor,
Yeah.
any moms, and so it would be in your best interest to perhaps think about what do moms need? What do
Hmm.
moms want that they don't have? And
Hmm.
then create an event
They need
around.
another mom. Oh, wait, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, create
Right?
an
Second
event
mom.
right?
They need another damn mom. I have
Well,
to tell you, it's so funny you say that because I was just my wife went out of town for 5 days. And I was mom and I was dad. And I'm just telling you, by the end of that week, I really wanted mom back. In fact, I wanted my mom or my wife to please just come over and be mom, right? It was just like, oh my God, this is a lot of work. So
that is so freaking funny. All right.
it's the
So
truth.
the number one thing to say to get more listings, Chad.
Yeah. So the number one way to get more listings or business or referrals is events, period. All right. So now we get them to an event. One of the we need to do some way to get referrals. And we need to have language around getting those referrals. Well, all right. So the thermometer script. And I'm going to actually ask you this question so that like you can get the visceral feel of it versus just like me telling it, right? So I'm going to ask you, right? And I am actually genuinely curious about your particular answer on this. Is all right, on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is not selling ever, not selling now. And 10 is you would sell if you got the right value for your property right now. Where do you see yourself on that scale, 1 to 10?
Right now, I would say I'm a 1 because I'm madly in love with my house right now.
Awesome. What would it take to make it a 10?
$1 million sales price.
Yeah, right. So if you got your value, right, or a little more than maybe the value, then it would make it work, right? So everybody has their price, Jan. I'm telling you. So that's good, right? So here's the thing. Now I know how to follow up with you, right? I get $1 million buyer, maybe it happens, or I just continue to work on the people that maybe gave me an 8 or a 9 or a 10 answer on that same question. So that is the greatest question ever to get listings. And I can tell you right now, the one thing I want to share, I don't have time to necessarily talk about it now, is I have the greatest Facebook post ever, and it is actually that script wrapped with some other NLP language and some other triggers that we have had a lot of success to the tune of over 10,000 listings, not me personally, but our organization and their coaching clients. And I'm going to share that at copypastereferrals.com. And it's literally copy what we give you, paste it on your Facebook, your personal, not your business page. Dear God, what are those for? Running ads, right? If you have a Facebook group or you have, well, everybody has a personal page, you're going to drop this on your personal wall where it says, Facebook says, what are you thinking about? This is what you're going to be thinking about at that moment. Copy, paste, and you will get listing referrals. It's that thermometer script, the 1 to 10. 1, not selling now. 10, would sell now. And that question's come from my lips 5 million times. It's on every single one of our registration forms at our events. So imagine 200 people lining up to come to your event. They have to fill out a form, and maybe by filling out the form, they get entered into a door prize contest, right? So they want to win. And one of the questions is on a scale of 1 to 10, how, you know, 1 is being never selling or not selling, and 10 is ready to sell now. And they just circle their 8 or their 7. And then the next question is, what would it take to make it a 10? And they get to tell you. And then you literally know, I mean, how would you like to know out of all your Facebook friends who is most likely to sell in the next 2 to 3 months? And that's what I wanted to know. And that's where I came up with this post. And it's copypastereferrals.com. We will give you, in fact, I'm going to give you an entire presentation on how to do the Facebook post and how to maximize the referrals from it. And
Thank
that's,
you for that.
yeah.
Yeah. And I want to, and I know we're nearing our end of our time here, but I want to ask you this. So when you invite people to your event,
Mm-hmm.
you just said, imagine if your local Facebook friends were to come to this event and answer that question, then you would know. So do you agree that we are not to judge? If you're having a VIP event, why not invite everybody without judging, right? And the second part of that is you repeat with delight, right? We're not going to be afraid to, text them, a video text, regular text, email, Facebook private message, right? Do you agree that we don't judge? We invite everyone because you want them to come and see that what you pull together, that is making you the leader and you shine.
Well, several comments on that, right? Greatest question ever, right? Number one is if you weren't paying for the event, how many people would you invite? Right? That's the first question is why do people struggle sometimes to invite everyone? I don't know, I don't want to pay this, right? Or I don't want to pay. And it's like, well, what if sponsors are paying for it? What if the venue is helping you with huge discounts to have the event at their venue, right? I mean, what if you didn't have to, what if you were making money on the event no matter what? How many people would you invite? You'd invite a lot, right? But here's the second thing. I'm gonna hedge on the answer because this is what I've discovered as the truth. Is you're gonna have two types of events, Jan. You're gonna have what we call an all YAP, and that is a yearly appreciation plan for everyone you know. You're going to invite Facebook friends, internet leads, all your sphere. Everybody's going to get an invite. It's going to be very public. Everybody's going to know how awesome it is. And that's your all yap. And we're going to invite everyone to that. You also need what we call a top yap. And this is the yearly ambassador program. And I call my referral sources and my top people ambassadors because they are brand ambassadors for what we do. These are private events, exclusive events. They're intimate. We call them small events, big results because you might get more referrals from 25 people than you got from 250 at your bigger event. So you have these quarterly less than 40. I think we found a magic number in less than 40 can be intimate. And you want to do those as your VIP events that are really like your VIPs. And we call them top yap because what I discovered is I had everyone who needed my attention, right? But there were a select 199 who were my ambassador and champions I needed to make sure I kept my ambassadors. So I needed private exclusive and I did what was called a board of ambassadors dinner. And it was just a series of survey questions. And by the way, that question I just gave you was also on there and they've answered it 7 times. And here's what's amazing. 1, 1, 1, 8.
Yep.
Boom. Right? Now right? One, now you figured out your home's actually worth $1 million now. And it's like, all right, maybe this is going to happen. Right? So it's one of those where, that is the hedge on the bet is we're going to do 7 events a year. We're going to do 3 all yap events that are once every 4 months. February or March is the first one. And then we're going to do 4 quarterly top yap events. And they're going to be smaller, more intimate for, let's say, if you have 100 VIPs, you're only going to invite 25 to the first one. You're going to invite 25 to the second. But here's the cool thing about like a board of ambassadors event. You could do the exact same event at the same restaurant with the same questions.
Yeah.
But they're just different people the second, third, and fourth quarters. And honestly, that's exactly what I did. And the conversations were worldly different at each one of them because the people were different. So planning those events took me about half a minute after the first one.
That's right. And I love that because one of the things I did, and I don't know that I again, you inspired me and you helped me become top in my game.
Yeah, you're giving me way too much credit there.
Well, I executed, right? That's the thing.
That's it. Action.
I listened, I made it me, and this is what I did. So, and I want to encourage the ladies. So I would call maybe 15 because I wanted people to come to my house. So I segmented who I really loved working with. And I had a team. So I would say, okay, I want all the moms. Mm-hmm. So I'd invite 15, each of them would invite maybe 10. And then 25% actually showed up. They were all moms of little kids. So they had something in common. That's and right. Me and my team, we were the leaders.
That's right.
Okay. We did the exact same thing, but now it's entrepreneurs in our local community. Boom.
Yep.
We're seen as connectors left and right. So ladies, this is magic. This is magic. Any final words as we close? Anything else you'd like to share in this final minute or two?
I think number one is please go to copypastereferrals.com and get that Facebook post because it's time sensitive, right? Now is the time to post that because spring has sprung. It's like it's green. Let's go, right? This is a really good time to post it. If you get it, the best day to post it is a Saturday. So we explain that in there, but you can post it as soon as you get it. If you don't want, if you're ADD like me, just post it right then. Copypastereferrals.com. And then the second thing is one of the best events we ever had is Mother's Day events, right? Where we provided the flowers, we provided everything, and all the guy had to do was get the mom there or his wife, depending on the event. So the fact of the matter is with events, your imagination is really the ceiling. You could do any type of event. And then I think the last thing is what's interesting about the generosity generation and Referco, that our group, is we are 61-62% female, which is amazing to me. But it isn't that much of a surprise when you realize that generosity is maybe over time has become a little bit of a feminine term. I will tell you it's becoming more masculine, I believe. It definitely, generosity is not, don't mistake my generosity for weakness, right? That's the thing, is generosity is sometimes saying no to where you give your money or your time, or in fact, you've got to say no for a lot of that because the yeses are so valuable.
Right.
And
Oh, I love it.
so
Okay.
I think the bottom line is I just really appreciate you doing the summit, and I hope it helps the listing queens get more listings. And the nicest thing ever is being the queen at an event and the queen knowing exactly what to say on the forum so that you know who to follow up with, and your motivation needs to match their motivation.
That's exactly right. It all starts right here, ladies. Well, thank you so much, Michael. Ladies, you will go to his page, his private page within the Summit website, grab that freebie, and let's get to work. Thank you, Michael.
My pleasure. Thank you.